Sir, ma'am, give us an idea of what exactly is pending before the ICC. Well, actually, two things. How far are we with the case? And number two, and more importantly, what exactly is the case and how do you define the crime itself? How does the ICC define the crime that has been filed before the ICC?
Okay, first, what crime is alleged under the communications? That's how they the complaint is termed as communication. Okay, it's framed. The extrajudicial killings have been framed as a crime against humanity, which falls under Article 7 of the Rome Statute. Okay, so ganon nila finrame. Where is it now? Within the processes of the ICC, it's undergoing preliminary examination. What is the preliminary examination stage? That's actually part of the investigative stage. If you look at Article 15 that defines the investigation process of the ICC, the first two provisions there refer to preliminary examination. Preliminary examination is actually an initial determination of whether or not, as alleged in the communication, it falls within the jurisdiction of the court. So ang sabi, this is a crime against humanity. So that's under Article 7.
Because the jurisdiction is specifically to genocide and crimes against humanity.
Yeah,
so that's the first question.
War crimes and then crimes of aggression. So sa atin, ang sinabi doon sa final doon ay
crimes against humanity.
Crimes against humanity. So titingnan nila, ito ba ay crime against humanity within the purview of Article 7? And then, yun yung una. The second question is the issue of admissibility, which is part of the preliminary examination. That refers to the principle of complementarity. Given this allegation, are the courts working within that country to address this issue? Because if it does, then under the principle of complementarity, the processes of the ICC will not, take effect. If there are processes happening to address that, then walang jurisdiction. The third issue is gravity. Actually, yung tatlo. Gravity is even assuming that it is does not violate the principle of complementarity, and even if it falls within the jurisdiction definition of crime against humanity under the statute, if it is not grave enough as subjectively determined by the ICC, then the ICC can also refuse to take over the case, because as you know, there are 1,000 cases happening all over the world that will demand the time of the So they also look at that issue of gravity. So nandoon pa tayo, assuming that all these threshold issues are resolved in favor of assuming jurisdiction, then the prosecutor will apply before the pre-trial chamber, that's the for a permission to go into full investigation. Submitting its evidence and initial findings before the pre-trial investigation. Then the pre-trial court will determine whether it will side with the findings of the investigator. It can say, no, stop it, and that's the end of the case. I mean, later on it can be revived, but at that point, if the pre-trial chamber does not agree with the prosecutor, then the case stops there. But if it says, if it approves or endorses the finding, then it goes to trial.
Okay.
The trial
so
chamber.
Just to be clear, we're still just on the first question. Diba? Basically, the question being, teka muna, nangyari ba talaga to? And is this a topic or a question that we can even take up? We're not even looking at any facts here. We're just thinking thematically, is this in the correct category?
Yeah, well, may konting looking into facts already. Siyempre, mag-iimbestiga ng mga witnesses to verify, yung the allegations in the Pero hindi pa siya yung ganung kalalim where it will already, travel to places and send invitations to, and even demand from the state party to participate in the preliminary examination. Wala pang ganun.
Just for our viewers, ano bang classification ng, how do you define genocide? Crimes against humanity.
Crimes against humanity.
Yep.
Well, under Article 7 of the it's a systematic attack against the civilian population as a matter of program or policy. So, yon. If it's a systematic attack against a civilian population, kumbaga may
by
programa
any particular
sadya.
group?
Yeah,
Not
usually
necessarily the
state.
government.
Yeah, usually state sponsored, no?
Yeah.
Then that's how it's defined.